going to call this first meeting in June together for the town council. And we're going to ask everyone to stand and do the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Dixon is going to do the prayer for us tonight.
Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we ask for your presence with us as we gather this evening to conduct the business of the town of Edenton. Grant us wisdom in our deliberations, patience in our discussions, and understanding in our differences. Help us to listen carefully to one another, to speak with respect, and to remember that we are one community, united by love for this town and its people. Guide us to make decisions that are thoughtful, fair, and for the good of all our citizens. Give us humility to seek what is right rather than what is easy, and courage to serve with integrity and compassion. May our work tonight strengthen our community and reflect our shared commitment to the people we are privileged to serve. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Corey, I think you found somebody else to bring that.
I would never want to take that away from you.
Okay. First on the agenda for tonight, we got the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on March the 10th and the 12th, and a special meeting on the 23rd and the 26th. Did anyone find any errors or anything? Make a motion to approve. Okay. All those who are in favor of approving these minutes, raise your hands, please.
Aye.
Disapprove, say nay. Okay. Public comment. 3 minutes per person, please. First name, J.D. Grant.
Sir.
You got the time first?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council. First of all, I'd just like to say that once again, the Red Cross was doing a blood drive today. I don't know if that's getting put out to everybody the way it should, but they are desperately short of blood and donations, so just like to remind people that that would be a helpful thing to do. I also noticed that most of the same people are here every week. I see a lot of comments on Facebook about people have complaints and want to talk about stuff, but no one wants to come here and talk to y'all face to face, and I think they need to remember that that's the way you do things. My only question tonight is, and I apologize, I may have missed it because I've missed a couple meetings. The house, Martinique, that's being brought downtown, I know that's already been decided. Who is paying for the move, the renovations, and all that?
I can answer that.
Okay.
That is coming from Harbor Towns, from the grant fund.
Okay, so all the grant money's going to that, no public funds whatsoever?
Yes, that is correct,
Okay.
100% grant fund.
Thank you.
Stephen Carr.
Good evening, folks. I'm going to piggyback on the last comment here. Wingfield. People in the county really think that Wingfield belongs in the county. Put it at the end of Broad Street, blocking view coming down Broad Street of the harbor is really a mistake. Okay, it's too big a building to be put in there. And last year we had a resilience task force in town that went through the whole entire process of looking at what's necessary in case of a major storm. And one of the suggestions that we made was that no further building be done on the waterfront in terms of floodplains and in consideration of the storms that we do get, because we get those, a little bit of high water now and then. and that would be a major issue. So please reconsider for a couple of good reasons. Also, we just removed a Confederate statue that everybody, not 50-50, wanted removed due to the implication of slavery. And yet Wingfield is a major plantation with a very big history of slavery. The town jumping into another hornet's nest with this type of possibility. Think about that. The second thing that I'd like to bring up is East Queen Street. The speed zone in East Queen Street may as well be 100 miles an hour because nobody does the posted sign. I would like the town to consider maybe a 15-mile-an-hour signage and enforcement in that area. I have never seen anybody stopped for speeding. If my neighbor hadn't pulled out the other day, I am sure that whoever was driving that nice little red car in their suit and coat and tie probably would have run me over because they were in a big hurry to go where they wanted to go. We have little kids under the age of 5. We have cats over the age of 5. We have dogs. We have grandkids in that neighborhood. And any given moment, something could happen, and nobody slows down. If I'm walking across the street, they don't slow down, they don't curve, they just, and also sideswiping. My vehicle has lost 2 mirrors. It has a large gouge in one of the rear fenders, which doesn't stick out more than 2 inches, maybe 3 on a pickup truck. The other side, you can see where something brushed against the other rear fender. So people are not driving carefully down there. So please think about what the town can do to make East Queen Street safer. People seem to think it's an extension of West Queen coming in off the 17, and they can zoom across, go up the 200 block, the 300 block, go into the Mill Village, take a left, turn back over to Church Street, and it is dangerous. So what can I do to help you make that much more safe for the residents?
Okay, we will check into it.
I appreciate that.
Chief is writing notes, and Corey will have a response for you at our next meeting, okay?
I have, can I say a couple? I have actually, had some talks with some of the policemen that I have seen, either parking in the parking lot at Swain or Stephen White used to patrol through there, I have had some conversations with them, and it's always, has to go up the level, and finally the level was town council. So that's why I'm here, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you. Hal Murray?
I'm Hal Murray of 112 West Queen Street. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, distinguished members of the Town Council, and Edenton Town residents. The Finance Committee held a budget workshop on June 2nd of this year, a couple days ago, and most items in the proposed budget that the Town Manager developed were reviewed. I was one of the few members of the general public present. The police chief was questioned by the mayor about things in his portion of the budget. As a result, the K-9 proposal was removed from his budget in an effort to reduce the tax burden. The fire chief and Mr. David Myers, Director of Public Works, were questioned in a similar manner, looking for places to reduce the overall budget. An item which received no review or questions whatsoever from the Finance Committee was a $250,000 contribution to Main Street Edenton. This proposed figure is $50,000 above last year's contribution. Yet no questions were asked and no explanations offered. Adding to the lack of transparency is that this budget item is part of the electric fund expenditure portion of the proposed budget. As Main Street Edenton is a 501c3, a nonprofit, the executive has few legal obligations to answer questions about the use of your tax dollars once they are under the nonprofit umbrella. Although the Finance Committee did not ask any questions about this $250,000 contribution, I have several. Why are the contributions to the Main Street Edenton buried in the electric company expenditures? What is the itemized budget of Main Street Edenton? What is the taxpayer getting for this generous $250,000 contribution? Why a 25% increase, $200,000 to $250,000 in this budget over the last year? What is the justification for a 25% increase in the contribution to Main Street Edenton? What percentage of the budget of Main Street Edenton goes to executive compensation, salaries, and wages? Transparency in municipal financial matters is the hallmark of good governance. The points I raised are legitimate questions addressing the wise use of taxpayer dollars during a particularly difficult economic time, both nationally and locally. I hope the town council will enlighten the public on this matter tonight. Thank you very much, and I have the specific questions here for Mr. Gooden. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Wayne Gasky.
Cassidy. Pen ran out of ink, so I couldn't fill out the rest of it. Mayor Pro Tem, council members, there are times that I appear before this council, I feel like Paul when he appeared before the council, and Festus said in a loud voice, "Paul, you are out of your mind. Your great learning is driving you mad." True, I have earned a Master of Ministry degree, but the mad portion remains to be seen, even though there are those who would disagree and think I've already arrived. At one point, Paul asked his hearers to bear with him a little foolishness as he talked about himself. Even though he didn't want to, he felt compelled to do so for their benefit. Such is the situation I find myself in this evening, as people have said that they just don't understand me. My mother was an Ambrose who married a Hollowell and lived in Edenton when I was born in 1946. After her divorce, she married a Marine who adopted me and my brother, hence the name change. Just prior to the Rodney King riots, I was part owner and vice president of operations in a manufacturing firm that employed 119 people. There were 5 other owners and partners of our company, one of whom was John Dean. If the name sounds familiar, it is because he was best known for serving as chief counsel to the White House under President Nixon and for becoming a central witness in the Watergate scandal. During that time, I was nominated for Who's Who in California, but I turned it down as that just wasn't me. My work history began as a retail manager for one of the 100 top corporations in California. Later, I was lured into becoming a Teamster with the understanding that in 6 months I would become a dock supervisor for management in a company that was owned by Rod Dado, the legendary USC baseball coach who won 11 national titles and is considered one of the greatest coaches in college history. From there, I was hired by Kimberly-Clark Corporation to be a supervisor between management and the Association of Western Pulp and Paper Makers Union. Back to the riots. I remember the first introduction I had with Dr. Frederick K.C. Price. There was such a presence about him that when he looked at me and said, "It is an honor to meet you," I actually turned around to look to make sure he was talking to me. Let us just say from that time on, I have been, as the Blues Brothers might say, on a mission for God that I couldn't be deterred from completing. Not even the guarantee of a starting salary in 1992 of $190,000 to $200,000 per year. Then there was that projected project leader opportunity that came up in around early years of 2000, having the opportunity in Palm Springs and also Orange County. I am not one that looks backwards towards that, but I'm one that looks forward. And presently I'm looking forward to my greatest accomplishment next month. And that's my 60th wedding anniversary. To the girl Sandy, who sat in front of me in biology class in the 11th grade. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe Moore.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. The vote's in. Edenton, hands down, best town in the Albemarle Sound. And I'd say northeastern North Carolina. There's a reason we're all here. It's a great town. Towns don't become great without great leadership. So I want to thank you for your leadership and the tough work you put into getting this budget together. I know you're taking a lot of flack on that budget. But one of the things that makes this town great are the great people that serve this community. Police chief and his crew, our firefighters, our public works. I go out walking every morning, those public works guys are out there at dark 30 cleaning our town. Town always looks great, everything works. Transformer blows, we're back up and running. This is a great town because of the people that work here. And when I saw in your budget that you increase, big piece of it is going towards the people that work for all of us in their compensation. And I say kudos to you for taking care of those people so that we can continue to have this great place that we have. Times are getting tough. They have rent to pay, and you're taking care of making sure they have a living wage and they're compensated fairly so they don't leave and they can do the work of the people here. Likewise, with their insurance plan, I know that their premium went up something like $200,000, some fool thing. And you could have cut their benefits, and they would have struggled. But you put the priority on the people. You invested in the people that work for this town. And that says a lot about you as a council. And so you're taking care of those people. So I give you kudos on those. And the third piece on the investment in Project Teapot, I know that's where all the flack's going to come. But I'm going to tell you, investing in future tax revenue streams is important to sustain our community. Case study. Look what happened at Williamston. They wanted to save the taxpayers' money. They didn't invest in economic development. And then when business started leaving and the costs went up, guess who was left holding the bag? It was the homeowners and the property owners. I'm a homeowner, and I own a lot of other property too, so I don't want my taxes going up either. But the choices you are making, I want to say, good job. You have my support, and please keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's the end of public comment. We got special presentations. Edenton Shawan Chamber Annual Presentation. Susan Reed.
Good evening. I'm going to try to keep this short because, as you said, this is an annual presentation. What am I clicking here? Well, so much for that. Okay, so the Chamber is a 501c6 nonprofit membership organization. We still have one full-time employee, that is me, and we have a shared admin assistant, Sue, who is doing a phenomenal job. And
May not be on.
Not doing a good job right now.
oh, now it's on. There we go. All right. We have approximately 240 memberships. That kind of ebbs and flows based on when people are paying their dues, but we have continued to grow over my 5-year tenure. We are funded by memberships as well as 2 fundraisers and the town of Edenton, and we certainly thank you for that. The fundraising this year has been a little tough because expenses are up, and so that has been a challenge, but we just had a great golf tournament at the links at Mulberry Hill. They have a solid course and staff, and we had a good outcome for our fundraiser. Are you clicking or am I? Okay. Our current membership is, President is Valerie Goodwin, who owns Baldwin's Jewelry. And President-elect is Lucas Belton with Rustic to Reclaimed. And you can see in that small picture a good-looking crew there from just a few weeks ago. Okay. Some of the things that we do for the community, we do an annual awards banquet that is primarily chamber awards, business awards, and community awards. But we also have the mayor's group with the environment, their award, tourism, Main Street Edenton, join us for that. We've had a lot of fun with this banquet the last few years, moving it around. So a couple of years ago, we had it at Hayes, and we were able to highlight how preservation is good for business. And it was a beautiful setting. It was a perfect night, and we were happy to be the guinea pig for the Elizabeth Van Moore Foundation on having events out there. We learned a lot of lessons for you, Sambo. The next year we had it at the airport in Cary Parish's hangar, which people thought that was going to be kind of rustic. It is immaculate. That you could eat off the floor in that space, and it was just a super cool space to hold it with lots of aircraft out on the tarmac, and we were able to highlight the economic impact that our regional airport has on our community. And this year in April, we had it at Rustic to Reclaim, a woodworking shop, which was a super cool space to host it. We were able to highlight the work that Lucas and his team are doing, and all of the work that's taking place on Peanut Drive, as well as the history of Peanut Drive. And I just have to tell you this story in just a nutshell. When the Marine base, when the Marine base was closing, the town needed to replace the jobs that were going to be lost because of that base closing. And this was something that I learned through the research done for the banquet. The Chamber of Commerce led that charge, and a group of people went up to Boston and visited with businesses and got some of them to come down and start their businesses here in Edenton on Peanut Drive, which was an economic development plan done by the town. So, love that story. Okay, next. Probably the highlight so far of 2026 has been the Carolina Health Works. This is a partnership between the Blue Cross of North Carolina and the North Carolina Chamber. It is for small businesses. It's a more affordable health plan. The criteria is that you are headquartered in North Carolina, you have between 2 and 50 qualifying employees, and my favorite, you have to be a dues-paying member of a local chamber. So through that partnership and working with Chip Pruden, our local Blue Cross agent, we have so far gained 8 new members in the first half of this year. So we're loving it. I know Sambo and Hack have both spoken to me about how it is saving them money on their health plans and others as well. So it's a good thing. Okay. These are just some of our community partners that I like to highlight that we work with on a regular basis. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Susan, thank you. The insurance has been great. I would encourage everybody in the business to look at it.
I will second that.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you for that presentation. Next, we will have the Hotel Hinton update. Dawson, Todd.
Council is concerned, Ms. Briley had a personal conflict tonight, last minute, and was not able to join us, so she's going to join us at a later date.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. This is a very important time in the development of this project, and I know that both the council and the town is so very interested in. We've reached a lot of milestones that a couple of years ago I wouldn't have thought would have been reached. So if you could advance the slide. remember the picture of the historic Hinton building. We were yesterday, or I was yesterday, at the Preservation Commission meeting, speaking with the Preservation Commission. Advance it one more if you would, please. Talking about our plans for the exterior of the building, and we'll wrap up with some architectural renderings. But I think everybody enjoyed the presentation, enjoyed what our plans were to take the building back to its ultimate historic look. Unfortunately, I don't know why people like to mess with the front of that building as much as they do, but someone had removed the sign that had called it out for public hearing. So, I think the Preservation Commission correctly asked me to come back so that they could.
Since it's a function of CBAS, the ZDP is a CBAS construct, but yeah. So theoretically, you can have a licensing for each region based on NetSuite ID.
So they are set up with multiple,
That was a surprise. So I think everybody on the commission really enjoyed hearing what our plans are with the building, returning to the early signage, which you can see in this photo, restoring the colonnade to the way it was, restoring the rail above the colonnade to the way it was, restoring the windows that are under the balcony to the way they were, restoring the balcony so that it can be used for a future bridal suite to go right there. So, to me, this particular photo kind of sums up a lot of the things that we are looking to do from a preservation standpoint to the building. The other two main ones are the two storefronts that exist on the right and left. The right-hand one to be a tavern, the left-hand one to be an art gallery / meeting space. So just personally really buoyed by where we stand, and let me give you the update on that. If I could get the next slide, please. 2 weeks ago, we turned in 100% construction drawings to Chowan County Inspections. That's a big, big moment in this process. So Kent and Luke with the county have started their review of the documents that we've now worked on for a bit over a year. Everything from electrical, mechanical, plumbing, HVAC, life safety systems, the restoration of the lobby, the kitchen that's going to go in the new tavern, the design of the tavern, the layout of the gallery space, all of the rooms. I personally have not ever been involved in a project that has so many different moving pieces and parts. And I had some mentors of mine say, it's just like a house, Dawson, it's just a bigger box. I would say that's not true. It truly is amazing, from architects to engineers, to mechanical engineers, to plumbers, to electricians, to experts on brick, to people that do roofing. Bringing all of that together has been quite a challenge, but we have gotten there. So where we are right now we've got a full set of plans. So we are rolling, and I know I've got Gary behind me, but as a team, our management team, to a man and woman, each has a role in bidding this out. So now we have final documents. Go to electricians, go to plumbers, go to HVAC folks, get numbers that roll into the ultimate budget of the building that will soon be built out. So that's the phase that we've entered into intensively, and we are working through that as rapidly as we can. We've talked about the Preservation Commission piece. We've talked about Chowan County, talked about the life safety portion of it being one of the more important portions to the building. We're still kind of finalizing some of the exterior courtyard design. So the exterior courtyard will also serve as kind of an entertaining space for music and events with its proximity to Edenton Green. So that's one thing I'm lacking, which I will have to take to the Preservation Commission when I revisit them next month, hopefully with the appropriate signage going. And the one thing that I want to kind of point out in this meeting is, people come up to me all the time and they say, when are you going to get started on the building? We've been knee deep in this thing for a year, pushing it every single day. Tangible things that are going on in the building that are construction related things are going in there and doing demo to get structural engineers the ability to see structural steel members in the building to make sure that it is safe. Working through these plans on site in that building every day with different sorts of contractors coming through, talking with us, proof testing what we're doing. I was on the roof of it myself with our roofing contractor on Thursday. Gary was behind me with the masonry contractor looking at the lintels and the windows. Think about, how many windows do you have, Gary?
A lot.
You think about every piece of steel that's holding up the brick above that window. We have to go through that and inventory it piece by piece by piece by piece to make sure that that steel is in good enough nick to support the brick over that window. It's just an example. Get the next slide, please. And if you look at construction drawings and architectural plans frequently, this will make a lot of sense to you. If not, it seems very confusing. But what it does do is it demonstrates all the different aspects that went into the plan set that we have now delivered to Kent and crew. And I had to get my glasses out there. So what you're looking at is the first floor plan set, all the way down to your HVAC runs in the gallery space, meeting room, the way that the lobby will be laid out, restroom facilities, where the checkout desk is, how we run plumbing from the rooms above the lobby so that we don't destroy the beautiful neoclassical remaining plasterwork. Details, 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 details. And hundreds, if not thousands of hours of work at this point. We can get the next slide, please. So this will give you an example of the second floor, which is more or less the exact same as all the rest of the floors. But it shows you all the room layouts. The second floor being a little bit special because if you look at the very bottom in the middle, that is that bridal suite that we were discussing when we were looking at the historic photo. But more than anything with this project, I'm really proud of the attention to detail that's going into it. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, when this building is complete, this is going to be something that all of Edenton's proud of. It's going to come in, you're going to come into that building, it's going to speak to you as something that's quintessentially Edenton. It's going to be right in the middle of our historic district and usher everybody out into a lot of what makes Edenton as special a place as it is. Next slide, please. Just a couple, and if you could pan up a little bit, there we go. Just a couple of architectural renderings of the building, showing some of the elements that we discussed, all the way down to really kind of copying the sign. We are sticking with the name Hotel Hinton. That original sign that y'all looked at said the Joseph Hughes Hotel, but sticking with the Hinton name. Next slide, please. And really, and if you could also pan up, thank you. Really giving you an idea of the beauty of the space that is soon coming to our town. It's going to be a wonderful thing to be a part of, and I'm really proud of my team. I'm really proud of the work that the Saga team has done. I'm really proud of all the engineers, architects, and people that I've gotten the chance to meet throughout working through this project to this point. And I look forward to everybody here and all of you being proud of the project and the product that we turn out.
Justin, all the rooms are still short-term, 2-3 night, whatever it is?
So Rob, we have luckily changed that. So what we have done is we have gotten it set up. If you go back to that second floor schematic, if you don't mind, it's 2 slides back. We've gotten it set up so that the bottom 2 floors will be pure play hotel from when it opens, with the top 2 floors being optional for short-term rental, with the intent of the entire building shortly becoming a 59-key hotel.
And Corey, we still on time for all of our timelines that we had and permits deadlines that we had with
We are
Saga?
at this point, and Dwayne and I will have just a little bit of follow-up with Dawson and the folks from Saga to make sure now that we have C&Ds where we will really start down the process for really kind of a pre-TRC, making sure as these teams are working with the engineers to make any revisions that we find when we get to the point of TRC. But in essence, for us, we're on timeline for what we have originally agreed to.
And we're pushing, and I'll tell you that, council folks, Mayor Pro Tem, we're pushing it every day. One of the things too, like, it's not just the house. So the actual review of the permit pack is going to take up to a couple of months. There's just that much involved in it. But it's now moving towards that building permit being issued, and that is mighty exciting.
We appreciate the updates. It's helped us to answer questions.
And we want to thank Dawson for being able to work with us as we've had a handful of presenters from some of our other local nonprofit partners to juggle his schedule to get here when we were able to get a really positive update. I know the council was asked about this over the last 2 months. We waited and waited and waited, and a lot of that was to make sure that we had the timing right for when we had vacancies to fill in. So thank you, Dawson, for working with us on that.
Thank you, and I want to echo a little bit of something that my friend Joe Walk said. This project, this hotel, I think speaks to the leadership that y'all show, the pushing, the caring, the making sure that we get the right team behind it and we keep pushing it. I mean, Sambo and I have had many conversations. Corey and Dwayne and I have them at least once a week. And, I just want to say, I feel very heartened to live in a town that is led by people that care to the degree that y'all do. It's a really, really awesome thing, and I appreciate it.
And I think people talk about this in grocery store more than any other projects.
Thank you, Dawson.
Thank you.
Committee meeting, administration committee, the inducement resolution for 213 and 201 Tower Lane.
I'd be glad to take that, Mayor Pro Tem Bond. If you remember, the administration committee did push this forward at the committee meeting, at our last meeting in May. And at this point, I am recommending, and the administration committee is recommending the council take action on this. This was for the conduit bond issuance for the project with the developer for the properties located there at 213 and 201 Tower Lane.
Can I get a motion?
Motion that we approve as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. We ready to vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Mayor. Pro Tem.
Thank you. Finance committee. New preacher.
Yeah. And I'm gonna really, hey Corey, I'm gonna turn this over to you to.
No action, I did want to say that we, at this committee meeting, we shared the schedule, which included the public comment here tonight. I did reach out after our meeting this past Tuesday and try to hear what council had heard and make some revisions to the budget. An updated second iteration is included on the website now. It has the original proposed as well as the alternative. We've heard your public comments here tonight. We will try to answer those and look into any of the expenses associated with any of those comments. But really no action, and currently council would consider the budget ordinance and final budget approval at our June 22nd meeting, Mayor Pro Tem Bond.
Thank you.
And I just want to add, I mean, we're trying to do everything we can do to cut where we can without cutting services and without cutting paychecks to employees and health insurance and those things. I mean, we're trying as hard as we can to figure out how to get this budget as low as we can, but still fund the things that we need to fund to make Edenton Edenton. And if you look around at the surrounding towns, you'll see that we're definitely not the highest. But I think that if you brought a team of experts in and said, what's the best town in eastern North Carolina, I don't think there's a single one that would say this isn't. And so, what we're building here is a special place, and but we're trying to do it as economically as possible, because we understand the burden that it creates when people have to pay more taxes.
And I like to say that the meeting that we had, the budget meeting, could have been more organized, could have been more detailed. But the department heads given their input, and I'll be honest with you, what Corey and his team did for that's a lot of work. And we appreciate how prepared you guys were, and all the questions that we asked, and the things we asked to take away, you worked through them. And that was a lot. I think we all appreciate that night.
Yes. Thank you for those kind words. And Mayor Pro Tem, just one thing, I want to kind of chime in on one of the points that was brought up earlier on the Project T-Plot. If you were at that meeting this past week with the Finance Committee, there were a lot of things pending in August 1st time period that we couldn't accurately forecast. So there's been some questions asked, particularly around some of the costs associated with the ownership of that building and the revenues that it generates. I want to remind everyone that That deal was part of an economic development agreement. We cannot accurately forecast what sales tax increases or utility increases will be. We have a very baseline number going forward now. Just like when we advised department heads that we would revisit once we saw things revenue-wise start to pick up from that improvement. We'll make adjustments and we'll try to inform the public at the appropriate time. But I did want to remind this board and the general public, that was a 10-year deal. That if you remember prior to entering into that, that was a net positive for the town over the 10 years of excess of $1 million. So the ownership of that asset and working through this deal is not short-sighted. It's a mid-range play to long-range play. And we've done everything we can to be conservative for that. So I did want to try to spread some light on that, and thank the reporters that are here as well, who did get some updates to them on the second iteration that council requested after last week.
Yeah, and I would just challenge people to go right around eastern North Carolina and look at the towns. Go look at Scotlandette, which used to be more vibrant than anything around here. Go look at Williamston. Go look at Bethel. Go look at those towns, and you go look at Hertford. Look at Elizabeth City, and then come home and try to find a parking space or a building that isn't inhabited. And the fact that this is going to bring 150 new jobs that people can train in our high school and get when they get out. I mean, it's going to be, it's really going to be fantastic. We've been to these places, we've looked at what they're doing, and we feel like it's a really good model for our downtown. And we're doing this very complicated new market credit deal that I think that is astonishingly progressive. And it's taken a lot of work from Chesson and from Corey, and most those towns couldn't do this. And so I think it's going to be something that we're very proud of. But just walk down the street and feel what's happened here. And it's it's really because we've been working and going and go to the Main Street conferences, we learn, we bring those things back, and I think that everybody up here wants to make Edenton a better place for everybody. That's all I'll say about that.
Thank you two gentlemen for that information. Public Works Committee, GIS and mapping overview. Councilman Carson?
Corey, I'll turn that over to you. I think it's a presentation for...
Yeah, at our committee meeting, Mayor Pro Tem Vaughn, we asked at council's request for staff to come in and provide an update. CJ was here, him and Dwayne, to try to show you where all that information is housed, just kind of a general update pertaining to street inventories, sidewalk inventories, stormwater inventories, water and sewer system inventories, electric inventories, and things beyond that. And that was just a general update for the committee to see the efforts that Dwayne and CJ have been making on that project. So no action, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, thank you.
Pretty well.
New business. Letter of support to Chewan County Grocery Economic Development Agreement, EDA. Corey?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Vaughn. I did want to take a chance to go over this. This is a letter on behalf of the Edenton Town Council to express its support in favor of a local economic development agreement in partnership with Chewan County Commissioners, the Town of Edenton Council, and the potential grocer. Town staff and local partners have worked through the due diligence for considerations of a final agreement, and the town manager is recommending that council approve the letter of support. This would be sent to Chewan County. They will be hosting a public comment period on the 15th, their meeting, in response to their consideration of action in this tripartite agreement. If all the parties were to agree, one thing to note here is the final EDA agreement would be voted upon at a later meeting date. And during that time, staff would work with the town and county attorney as well as the grocer's legal counsel for any considerations. This is really the first step to show the Chowan County Commission and the grocer that we're interested in this. We've heard the residents loud and clear. When we get to the point of the final EDA, that would be very similar to what we've done for Project Teapot. That would be performance-based. There would be certain milestones that make it eligible or ineligible for their request. There would be milestones set in that as well, and that would be a performance-based EDA, similar to what we did with Project Teapot. Mayor Pro Tem Bond, for new business, this will require action in the form of motion, second, and a vote.
Can I get a motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are we ready to vote on it?
I just want to say, if anybody has any questions, the best person that has explained this, I think, is Joe Lott. He's head of the Edenton Development Corporation, and if, you know, I hope he'll talk to the county, but he's studied it, he understands it. It's not like anybody's writing a check, it's all performance-based, and, I feel really good about it. So I would just encourage y'all to all talk to Joe.
This broke down very well in an article that came out yesterday, I believe, for the Observer. It really was broke down well. So I would read that if you could.
And Mayor Pro Tem, if there are any questions amongst the board, we can have that discussion now, and if not, we can move towards vote.
Okay,
I'm ready to go.
everybody ready? All those in favor of?
Aye.
100%.
Okay, motion been carried.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Ball.
Okay. Oh. Town council appointments, reappointments, and Dwayne.
Yes, sir. I don't have the list in front of me, but we have a couple reappointments to the Preservation Commission as well as the Tree Committee. And Lucas is here for his oath, recently appointed to the Preservation Commission.
Mayor Pro Tem and council, for reappointments, this will require action. This is for reappointments and appointments. For the Edenton Preservation Commission, this will be Caroline Butler, Wade Rogers. For the planning board, this would be Earl Willis and Fraser Kelly. And for the tree committee, this would be for Ed Ross. And one thing to note here, I know that Ed Ross and Lucas Belton were considered at the last few meetings that we've had, and the tree committee does not require the oath. So after these reappointments for one of the positions, Mr. Belton is here with us, and Mayor Pro Tem will have to administer the oath.
I got to administer those?
Yes, we can administer the oath, and his appointment was at the last town council meeting.
And don't we still have one position on the Preservation Committee?
So
Coming
the next one would come off on 2027, so June 2027 next year.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's when the next available vacancy, unless there's a resignation. So yeah, and then I'll be bringing some more appointments to you, hopefully here in the next few months or so.
So Mayor Pro Tem, Dwayne and myself will seek action on the 1, 2, 4, 5 appointments and or reappointments, and then we'll start with the oath.
Individually or
Just
Okay.
one oath.
another action? Because that's maybe-
One action for those 5, and then we will administer the oath for the 6th.
Carol, you ready to motion?
Yeah, we'll need a motion.
Approve. Make motion.
And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Have a vote. Take a vote.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, Mayor, Pro Tem, and now, this time, we'll ask Mr. Belton to join us. I'm gonna get the Bible, Lucas, if you wanna join us.
No, I don't know how you go. When I go around here.
I think you go anywhere you want to, you're the mayor pro tem.
I can stay here then?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Just gotta get a photo op.
I, Lucas Belton,
I, Lucas Belton,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and maintain the Constitution. That's why I cut it off. That's why I cut it off.
I didn't read off the paper.
Do solemnly swear
do
or
solemnly swear
affirm that I will support
and affirm that I will support,
and maintain the Constitution and the laws of the United States
maintain the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of North Carolina
Constitution
and laws.
and laws of the state of North Carolina,
That I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
as a member of the Historic Preservation Commission
as a member of the Historic Preservation Commission
for the town of Edenton.
for the town of Edenton,
That I will administer my responsibilities
that I will administer my responsibilities
impartially and fairly.
impartially and fairly,
That I will strive to preserve and protect
that I will strive to preserve and protect
the historic, architecture, and cultural resources,
the historic architecture and cultural resources
entrusted to the commission,
entrusted to the commission,
and that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
perform the duties of
perform the duties of
this office according to my skills, best of my skills,
this office to the best of my skills,
knowledge, and ability,
knowledge, and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
We got through
Good
Can you
man.
turn around?
We get a photo of you.
Can you just go in there with them, or sit behind the table?
Y'all got good cameras on, because usually pictures of me great cameras. I'm not being funny, I'm serious. That's it? Town's manager.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Brown. At the May 12th, 2026 full council meeting, there were a total of 13 public comments. The first being from Michael Dean in regards to the discussion from his organization voting to relocate the Confederate Monument to its original 1906 location at the Courthouse Green. He stated that the organization would consider dropping the lawsuit against the town if an agreement could be reached. Thank you for sharing this information, Mr. Dean. There were 10 comments on the waterfront improvements. These were from Doug Lane, Sally Francis Keyhays, Fauna O'Neill, Marilyn Rutland, Russ Corker, Stephen Hudson, Stuart Proctor, Chris and Grace Bean, John Moorhead, and Flora Hall Davis. I want to thank you all for these comments and support. We did hear you loud and clear. We are working extremely hard to make all the accommodations that you are requesting. We are being overly frugal on the projects and are doing all we can to make the restroom, the waterfront, and the Maritime Center improvements cost effective. If you have not noticed, Wolf Construction has mobilized and set up a staging area along the south end of the Barker House parking lot to begin the breakwater improvements. We should see action fairly soon. Third 11th comment was from David Littman. He addressed the concerns regarding ADA accessibility and requested improved communications, staff training, and a dedicated ADA coordinator. Again, this is still an ongoing effort. We hear you loud and clear. We have started with our new Special Projects Program Manager to execute the projects that we're aware of. These are still under guidance of the fire chief and the town leadership team for making sure that we're aware of any of the needs. One thing I did want to share with Mr. Littman is we did review our website with the IT director, and we received 100% compliance on ADA regulatory requirements. I do think that we need a resident champion for this effort, and would offer that position up to any resident that would like to help us. The 13th comment we had was from Wayne Caskey. He had open-ended comments from the last meeting and presented information on public demonstrations in North Carolina. Thank you, Mr. Caskey, for those kind words. During items considered timely and important, Mayor High asked about the crosswalks and sidewalk repairs specifically on King Street. The crosswalks were discussed at the May 12th meeting, and Public Works will start back on sidewalk repairs very soon. If you remember from our Finance Committee meeting, we are going after CDBG funding for this specific type of improvement. Wayne and I have been from Raleigh to Raleigh to Raleigh to Raleigh to Edenton. Raleigh's came to Edenton, and we will continue to fight for those type of sidewalk repairs. Councilman Miller asked about a Hotel Hinton update. Dawson, thank you for the update that was provided tonight. Councilman Bond asked about natural gas lines on Old Hertford and stormwater repairs on Johnston Street. We did meet with NCDOT on May 28th to talk about the bridge project. NCDOT and the town are working together to request a meeting with Piedmont Natural Gas to discuss both areas, West Queen and comments made by Mayor Pro Tem Bond around Old Hertford. Same thing for Councilman Turner's comments on West Queen. We hope to have a meeting set up with them from the initial kickoff. It was a big talking point that CJ and I made clear because we were going through some of the board requests, and we have also shared some of the local contractors we've been successful for some of the borings that we've had within the last year that are a little more price mindful, that maybe would be an approved contractor for P&G for both of those areas. Councilman Sellers asked about the house on West Gale Street. Dwayne did address this at the meeting and also has spoken with the neighbors about this home. We have avoided demolition by neglect, and we have, Dwayne has had a public hearing and meeting with the property owner, and I don't know if she showed up or not.
She did not, and I've actually reached out to legal counsel as well to make sure we're going down the right path related to this particular property, and I'm waiting to hear back from the town attorney on that.
Councilman Costin asked about the paving repairs on the corner of Luke and Hicks. Good news, we just received a survey of the street right of way, and this area is the area they're willing to release to the town. We have quotes on the paving repairs and provided them to the existing owners. We hopefully will have the ownership resolved very soon with the completion of those paving upfits. We still are planning on making the temporary repairs in the meantime, but it was almost coincidental that Dwayne got emails from their engineering company where they had come out and surveyed like we had shared in January, got that 60-foot right-of-way request with the center lines and said, hey, this is what we're willing to give to the town. And we said, here's the quotes on paving.
Right.
So, Mayor Pro Tem Bond, that is all I have for my manager's report.
Thank you. Very good report. On the items timely and reported. Any councilman?
I don't have any.
You answered mine, so if we can get that temporary one done, I think they would appreciate it.
I've set it up
I'm good.
Okay. That's a first.
tonight. Yeah.
Good.
You're doing such a good job, we don't wanna.
Good job. Thank y'all for having pity on me. With no other items on the agenda, this council meeting comes to an end. Thank you all for coming.